Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most gripping developments in the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia, a story that's shaking the foundations of the battlefield and redefining what comes next. The title says it all. The bridge was just the beginning. Ukraine's master plan unfolds. What we're witnessing isn't just a strike or a simple act of retaliation. It's part of something larger, something carefully orchestrated, a multi-layered strategy that has been months, even years in the making. When Ukraine struck the Crimea bridge, the world watched in shock. The blast that tore through the structure wasn't only about physical damage, it sent a message straight into the Kremlin's core. It symbolized the beginning of a new phase of warfare, one that moved beyond traditional battles and deep into strategic deception, cyber warfare, and long-range precision strikes. But what most analysts failed to see at the time was that this attack wasn't the end game. It was the first domino in a much larger chain reaction. Since that strike, intelligence sources have revealed that Ukrainian planners had mapped out a complex strategy aimed at systematically dismantling Russia's military logistics, not through direct assaults, but by targeting the arteries that feed the front lines. The bridge was the first major artery. The next phase, communication hubs, fuel depots, radar systems, and command centers stretching deep inside Russian-held territory. This is where Ukraine's new era of warfare truly began. Satellite imagery and drone reconnaissance have shown a pattern: pinpoint explosions and sabotage acts across Crimea and southern Ukraine, all seemingly disconnected, yet following a logical pattern. Ukraine's military intelligence agency, known for its secrecy, calls this the fragmentation strategy. The idea is to weaken the Russian military structure piece by piece, not through large offensives, but through relentless disruption. Every explosion, every intercepted transmission, every successful drone strike plays a small role in a larger puzzle. And that puzzle is about control, not just of land, but of momentum and morale. The moment Russia loses its ability to move freely and respond quickly, Ukraine gains the upper hand without having to deploy massive numbers of troops. That's the brilliance of this plan. While Russia continues to pour men and resources into static defensive lines, Ukraine is fighting a war of movement, innovation, and unpredictability. After the bridge attack, Ukrainian engineers and drone specialists intensified their work on new weapon systems, long-range drones that can bypass electronic jamming and strike targets hundreds of kilometers away. These drones have been spotted deep inside Russian territory, hitting oil facilities and ammunition dumps far from the front lines. Western defense experts call it the shadow campaign, an invisible war being fought behind enemy lines with precision and patience. Ukrainian officials have been tight-lipped, but hints from military briefings suggest a coordinated effort between intelligence, cyber operations, and physical sabotage teams. The new model of warfare that Ukraine is pioneering combines traditional military tactics with cutting-edge technology and psychological warfare. It's not just about destroying targets, it's about breaking Russia's sense of control, creating confusion within its ranks, and forcing them to divert their focus away from key fronts. Russia's response has been predictable yet increasingly desperate. The Kremlin has ramped up air defense systems around key infrastructure, but with limited success. The problem for Russia is that Ukraine's drones and missiles are becoming smaller, smarter, and more autonomous. Many operate without direct human control once launched, using onboard AI to adjust their routes and avoid interception. In a war that once depended on brute force, this new phase belongs to those who can think faster and adapt quicker. Meanwhile, Ukraine's diplomatic and intelligence channels have been working overtime. Behind closed doors, deals are being struck, alliances strengthened, and new technologies quietly transferred from Western partners. The flow of information and technical expertise into Ukraine has never been greater. Every new satellite feed, every radar map, every bit of signal intelligence helps shape the battlefield, not just in physical terms, but in strategic timing. And this timing is critical. After the bridge attack, Russian forces were forced to reroute their supplies through alternative routes that are longer, slower, and more vulnerable. Ukrainian forces quickly exploited this by targeting these supply chains. Convoys carrying ammunition and fuel have been hit repeatedly along these routes, creating logistical chaos. It's death by 1,000 cuts, and each strike compounds the previous one. This strategy has a secondary effect as well: morale. Reports from Russian soldiers captured or intercepted communications suggest growing frustration and confusion among the ranks. The uncertainty of where the next attack will come from has eroded confidence. Even Russian civilians, far from the front lines, are feeling the tension as explosions hit refineries and factories hundreds of kilometers inside Russia. What was once considered untouchable territory is no longer safe. Ukraine's leadership understands the psychological dimension of this war better than ever. Every publicized strike, every viral video of a burning depot, serves two purposes: to demoralize the enemy and to reassure Ukrainians that progress is being made. The narrative of resistance is as important as the fighting itself. By showing that they can strike deep into Russian-held areas, Ukraine sends a clear message to its people and its allies: the plan is working. And indeed, it seems to be. Over the past months, Ukrainian offensives have become more coordinated and more effective. Intelligence, guided artillery strikes, drone swarms, and special operations units have worked together in ways that were unthinkable a year ago. The level of integration between different branches of the military and intelligence services shows how far Ukraine's warfighting capacity has evolved. But the master plan doesn't end with strikes or sabotage. There's a political and economic layer too. Ukraine knows that a prolonged war drains Russia financially and politically. The cost of defending an overstretched front, rebuilding damaged infrastructure, and maintaining troop morale is enormous. By forcing Russia to fight a defensive, reactive war, Ukraine is slowly turning the economic tide. The West has played a vital supporting role in this plan. From advanced surveillance systems to real-time intelligence sharing, NATO countries have ensured that Ukraine's planners always have the upper hand in situational awareness. The combination of Ukrainian ingenuity and Western technology has created a powerful synergy, one that Moscow has found increasingly difficult to counter. The next phase, according to several defense analysts, could involve a multi-front pressure campaign designed to stretch Russia's defenses even thinner. This would include coordinated strikes across the Black Sea region, operations in occupied Crimea, and potentially new offensives in the Eastern Corridor. The goal isn't to seize large swaths of territory immediately, but to collapse Russia's ability to sustain its occupation. Inside Ukraine, morale remains resilient. Despite the hardships, the destruction, and the loss, there's a growing sense that the country has transitioned from survival mode to strategic offense. The bridge strike marked that shift from defending to dictating the tempo of war. What was once reactive has now become proactive. The message to Moscow is clear. Ukraine isn't just defending itself anymore. It's reshaping the battlefield on its own terms. Russian state media continues to downplay Ukraine's advances, insisting that everything is under control. But the reality on the ground tells a different story. Each successful Ukrainian strike exposes cracks in Russia's defenses, and those cracks are widening. Logistics, coordination, and communication, the pillars of any modern army, are being methodically undermined. Even Russian analysts have started acknowledging the shift. Military bloggers, once loyal to the Kremlin narrative, are now questioning the leadership's strategy and pointing to Ukraine's growing technological advantage. They admit that Russia is struggling to adapt to a war that no longer follows conventional patterns. As Ukraine's operations grow more sophisticated, the concept of the battlefield itself is changing. It's no longer confined to the front lines. It now includes cyberspace, energy grids, social media, and international diplomacy. Every arena is part of the fight, and Ukraine is proving remarkably capable of managing them all at once. Behind every strike lies planning, timing, and coordination. The intelligence that allowed the bridge attack to succeed came from months of surveillance and digital espionage. And now, Those same methods are being used to prepare for the next targets, command centers, naval bases, and critical infrastructure across the occupied territories. What's perhaps most impressive is Ukraine's ability to keep its major operations secret until the very last moment. This level of operational security shows a discipline that rivals major NATO powers. Even Western partners often learn about successful missions only after they're complete. That secrecy, combined with precision, keeps Russia guessing and prevents them from adapting effectively. The unfolding plan also involves the sea. Ukrainian naval drones, once experimental, are now a regular threat to Russia's Black Sea fleet. Several attacks have already forced Russian ships to withdraw from key positions. This shift not only protects Ukraine's coastal areas, but also reopens limited trade routes for vital grain exports. Every small victory at sea translates into major strategic and economic gains on land. And then there's the cyber front. Ukrainian cyber units, often working with independent hackers and Western partners, have launched attacks on Russian military databases, transport networks, and even propaganda outlets. These operations disrupt communication, expose corruption, and weaken Moscow's ability to control the narrative. The war is being fought not only with drones and missiles, but with data and digital precision. All these elements, physical, digital, psychological, and economic, are threads of Ukraine's master plan. Together, they weave a complex web that's slowly constricting Russia's ability to maneuver. The bridge strike was just the first public sign of this transformation, the spark that revealed the new face of modern warfare. Looking forward, analysts believe that Ukraine's next moves will continue this pattern of surprise and strategic escalation. Instead of massive offensives that risk heavy losses, we'll see continued precision strikes and hybrid operations designed to wear Russia down from within. It's a war of attrition, but one conducted intelligently through disruption rather than destruction. Russia now faces a dilemma: continue pouring resources into a conflict it can't fully control, or find a way to negotiate from a weakened position. Either way, Ukraine's strategy ensures that every choice Russia makes carries heavy consequences. The world is watching closely, and every development is analyzed, debated, and broadcast globally. Yet amid the noise, one thing is clear: Ukraine's leadership is playing the long game. They understand that wars aren't always won by force alone, but by endurance, intelligence, and timing. And as we see, this plan unfolds step by step, from the explosion on the Crimea bridge to the silent drone raids deep in Russian territory. It's evident that Ukraine's war effort has evolved into something far beyond expectations. This isn't just a fight for land. It's a calculated campaign for independence, resilience, and future security. So when people say the bridge was just the beginning, they're not exaggerating. It truly marked a turning point, the opening move in a long, intricate game that Ukraine seems determined to win. Every day brings a new piece of the puzzle, and the full picture, though still forming, is beginning to show a vision of Ukrainian strength that no one thought possible at the start of this war. The world may still underestimate Ukraine's resolve, but history will remember this phase not as a desperate struggle, but as the moment a smaller nation used intelligence, technology, and strategy to outthink a larger foe. The bridge has fallen, and with it, the illusion that Russia's dominance was unshakable. The plan is in motion, and it's only just begun. That's all for today's deep dive. Stay tuned for more updates as Ukraine's master plan continues to unfold across the battlefield, the skies, and beyond. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay informed and stay alert, because this story is far from over.